side of things as the push starts to come in from Frozen. Zeta, that's a lovely flashbang, and finally some frags going to come through. Somebody looking to back him up and hitting some heads as once again TYLOOYU doing the work in the pistol round. A 3v2 now, and mousesports with a P250 and a Glock to try and make it happen. Chris J taking yet more tags. A one tap to the head from Summer leaves Chris J completely isolated. He's at least going to find one more. The dink and the follow through coming through onto somebody, and a hectic start to say the least, but a 1v2 for Chris J to contend with.
It's going to be at that range as well, the exact same position where Summer connected the one tap onto Long. He is sat again, and it's the same outcome.
It's Carrigan around the edge of the smoke, but TYLOOYU, they're not looking too keen to aggress just yet. Now they do, and Carrigan not quite able to connect on the Deagle as Zeta helps himself to first blood, taking down ROPZ, and actually going to get a second onto YAPACAK as well. Is he finally showing up in the server as Frozen at least able to get one back for Mouse?
Goes back in for seconds. It's a couple of whiffs from the FAMAS wielding somebody, but he still has his life. 14 HP separating him and his demise. But mousesports have Chris J with the scout, doesn't need it for the first kill, and we'll be switching across to the FAMAS. Scout shot whizzes by his ears. Still has plenty of time, and he realizes his flank is a very distinct possibility. Now, Chris J, he's been here so many times in the past. He wants that smoke, and he's going to find it for the cross. So at least he does have a little bit of utility to play with. Plus, with his time, the player that was flanking Freeman has got to respect the fact that Chris could still turn tail and run around the back. Now his footsteps are being heard, though. He can make a move on towards short. The bomb going to get faked, draw the players out into the open. Chris J swarming, swelling with CTs is the sight. Hefty damage inflicted to Freeman, but he doesn't get the kill.
And start to shore up your buys for the remainder of this first half. Zeta's going to get the early contact and a quick headshot to take down Chris J as well. That is a lot more like it from the sniper, as now mousesports a man down and got to try and find a way to take out this scout at range.
Well, we said, can they get some inspiration early on? So far, so good. Zeta is having quite the impact with his scout. He's had 3 or 4 kills with it so far. Summer, in the meanwhile, with his M4, is going to go to task. Freeman holding off the aggression from Carrigan. And it's all going the way of TYLOOYU once again. It's going to be a clean... It's a good counter flash tossed in. Does stall them a little bit. But their bit is firmly between the teeth. And they are looking to push on to B. 2 players strong. It's a bastion. It's a real fortress of a site to take. But now Attacker putting his MP9 to use onto YAPACAK may have completely thwarted this attempt. There's a rotation coming through as well from somebody round the back who is looking, anticipating a peek, but everybody that he goes to look at just dies ahead of him. The thing is, though, this is a play that can go for again in the future. If he doesn't show his hand, it is something that you can go for. It's a bit of a gimmicky play. A lot of teams will go for this. Now somebody going to start to move on catwalk, and he may even go for the knife. No, he decides against it. Carrigan is a dead man, whichever way you spin it, and our ROPZ of 30 seconds is going to look to potentially save the SG.
Try and keep something up, because the economy's on the rope for mousesports losing that round. They're going to go 4-0 down, and TYLOOYU, they look like they've got their confidence back. They're hitting their shots again. Zeta's picked up the scout, followed by the AWP, and has found some nice frags with it as well. And everybody's showing up. I said Summer needed to find some frags. He's 7-1 at the moment, as somebody just tear heads apart as mousesports look to plan this execute. Dropping down into CT, looking to catch somebody off guard, but he's there and he's able to find the frag. Traded immediately by ROPZ to bring us back onto the 4-on-4, but it's a nice adjustment by Summer to find even more damage. Yet to find the frag, but so much damage done. 20 HP between ROPZ and Chris J, and mousesports, they're trying to make their way in towards B. Finally, Frozen opens things up with the 1-dig, and Summer in a desperate position to try and recover. Traded 1-for-1, and 3-on-2 now. Zeta and Attacker. That's a tag through the door as YAPACAK makes the transfer, but he's managed to pick up an M4 in the meanwhile. And can they get back into this bomb site? 2-on-3. They've got to clear ROPZ first of all. He's just hankering in this corner, but Zeta's got the shot. The AWP's finally starting to show up. 2-on-2 now. That bomb's starting to tick down, but both Zeta and Attacker have diffusers. They've got time to play with as they look to make their entrance, and oh, this is going to be tight. Frozen with the M4. Org in the hands of YAPACAK, but so little HP to work with. Attacker swings, manages to keep his head hidden. Finally, the frags come through, and it will be mousesports with just Deagles to work with, who...
$1,500 on Attacker, so if they were to concede this round, it's been a great start, but things will slip away. Zeta, though, and he's going to say no to that, as he claims onto Chris J early doors, through the middle doors, and now mousesports on the back foot, though, will swing out with a kill onto Freeman, equalizing at 4v4.
Lovely little boost over the smoke there. A little bit of an innovative play by TYLOOYU, and somebody wants to get aggressive off the back of it. Frozen with the timing. Oh, he just looks the wrong way. Somebody even spots the bomb as he finds that frag, and Zeta helps himself to another, taking apart Woxic for Mouse Sports. And now it looked good for Mouse. They'd found the refrag, they had the opportunity, but Zeta really starting to come into his own on the AWP, finds his third frag of the round, and ROPZ, he's been here before, a 1 versus 4 to contend with, and with 1 minute and 3 left on the clock, the odds of him managing to keep his hands on the creek for this long is very, very slim.
Especially this is the first time where Mouse Sports have been forced to sweat a little. There's a timeout. Let's see how they engage afterwards. It's going to be a hefty tunnels push, but it's into the arms of somebody, but he comes out second best, barely even scraping Carrigan in the process. That is just what Carrigan was hoping for.
It's just what Mouse Sports needed, an opportunity, half a chance as ROPZ. He's going to go up on the head of Chris J and not spotted out. Freeman's going to be taken down. He had no idea what hit him. That's the B-bomb site, completely open bomb. Still all the way back in spawn, but Mouse Sports finally starting to find some of that form from map 1 as Woxic finds another onto Summer. And Zeta and Attacker, you said their economy was absolutely busted, and they can't really afford to go for this. They need to save that M4 and AWP. Otherwise, they're looking at a very rough buy coming into round number 8.
And so much firepower to save here as well. And with Zeta playing exceptionally well here on DUST2, you want him to have the AWP as much as possible if you're on TYLOOYU. So I'm sure Summer made the call, save, save, save. Do whatever you have to, even throw Attacker under the bus if you need to in order to save that AWP. So I'm sure Attacker will sacrifice himself, although actually they are pretty much separated. Attacker's on long, with Zeta with the AWP on the short side, just peering down from catwalk, taking the aggressive angle. Obviously, what you'd like to do is take the shot from the little alcove, then drop down into CT spawn, but they don't have control of that. So he's playing a little bit more static and more stationary, trying to be a little bit more defensive. Mouse Sports, additionally, their economy's not great, so they're okay to save by and large. So we're going to have this stalemate situation, but Mouse Sports, after the timeout, again, it proves to be magical as they double their digits to 2. But you better believe there's going to be a smoke wall there to greet him.
A little bit too much aggression from Zeta on the AWP as he's taken down by ROPZ, and that's a lot of the firepower lost immediately for TYLOOYU. The AWP is down. Freeman might be able to recover it. He doesn't know, though, that ROPZ has escaped from the B tunnels as Summer at least gets a 1D onto Frozen to try and open things up. Carrigan steadies the ship with another onto Attacker, but the trades are still coming through. Somebody able to take down Carrigan, and Summer sneaking through the smoke finds another isolated on the bomb site. He's got Chris J as well. And ROPZ, he was all the way over towards the B bomb site, but a moment ago, and with 18 HP, he's got 3 players to contend with for TYLOOYU. The half buy has gone perfectly, and they've even managed to salvage themselves a couple of AK-47s.
A bit of a misread there from Carrigan. We'll get back to that in a moment once we see if ROPZ can keep his life ticking forward into round 9. It's looking likely. I think TYLOOYU are going to be occupying, happy to save these 3 guns and get the round under their belt. ROPZ shouldn't be extending now. He doesn't want to die after time. But when they know that Zeta is over in a very unorthodox position, can't walk by and large. But now Carrigan's going to get tested, and he passes with flying colors as he passes a bullet between the eyes of Attacker. Somebody, though, is holding the line with his AWP. 2 kills to his name. Narrowly missing out on a 3rd, but he's going to get pushed by 2 sides. He's still alive. He's still kicking. And he has batted down Mouse Sports. A solo effort. Freeman's a 1 and 4, but he hasn't really been called upon. Keep in mind, he's one of the B players, and the vast majority of these hits have been A in middle. He is going to be called upon now, though, to try and repel this pistol-wielding Mouse Sports, but a good Molotov put into position is going to stop the initial charge, and he just has a smoke out there to toss in afterwards. Do Mouse Sports go for the aggression behind this? You better believe they do, but he heard the pins being removed. He sprays through the smoke, and he gets the ultimate reward. But ROPZ and Carrigan going to be shimmying in for 2 kills, and now TYLOOYU is stuck on the A side of the map and maybe looking to save.
It's looking like the long game play here from TYLOOYU. They have to save as well. The economy, I said it was all right. It's not that good. They can't afford to go for a 4-on-3 retake into the B-bomb site, knowing full well that ROPZ, Carrigan, and Woxic, they've managed to recover rifles. They've got Kriegs. There's an M4 picked up on Woxic as well. It's just all too easy for Mouse Sports to get into that B-bomb site. Yes, Freeman finds one through the smoke to open things up, but it's 2 quick trades found by Mouse Sports. The execute works out to perfection, and TYLOOYU just really didn't look like they had an answer. When that full execute came out, the smoke went into CT, and there was nothing doing for them as Mouse Sports get a free entry, a free round number 3, and a free rifle onto Woxic as well.
So both of their timeouts have proven to be invaluable for Mouse Sports, but It's quite the turnaround.
Well, it's been a complete change-up. Nice flashbang through. Chris J able to trade 1-for-1, but not expecting the second player in the form of Attacker. And with that bomb down towards Long as well, all Attacker has to do is stay alive, but he'll help himself to another frag. Frozen, the unfortunate soul who wanders into his crosshairs, as Carrigan only able to get one jumping down into CT, leaving Woxic with a 1 versus 3. I liked his first on Inferno, but he's not going to be getting it this time. Attacker quickly puts an end to things. They've got to go quickly with the firepower they've got. Summer wants to find that opening pick for his team. Might just get a little bit too aggressive here, or might catch what's here with a nade out. So much damage, a 3-man collat as he tags up 2, and the nade will follow through. Summer gets the second, but now the flank from Carrigan comes in, and a quick double on the B-bomb site opens things up. Carrigan helps himself to a triple, and TYLOOYU falling apart at the seams as the bomb is finally going to make its way in. The Molotov keeping ROPZ at bay for so long, but how has this retake come about? Frozen and Carrigan finished things off, and it was such a good
This is such a ballsy play, but it's going to work out for them for now.
mousesports, with no information about it whatsoever, are going to head up A long. Unfortunately, TYLOOYU just starting to rotate players in towards middle, so it's going to be Attacker on this A bomb site with the P250 to try and find some damage. ROPZ helps himself to the first frag, and Attacker will be taken down by Carrigan. The stack not quite working out as ROPZ grabs a quick double, and Woxic finishes things off, and it could have gone so much differently though.
Incendiaries tossed towards the back of the site. Thing is here for TYLOOYU as well, it's almost like they're on a ticking time bomb. Do they even go for this? Their economy's not great. If they lose this round, then mousesports likely will just cruise to an 8-7 deficit. Nate starting to connect on the back of the site. Carrigan trading out frags. Attacker comes straight up and is going to be able to get the 2 kills.
Okay, they're not taking this portion of the map. I'll just go fast there, as again, he's going to go straight out of the mid doors, but Zeta is there for the punish on the scout, finding some tags before he's traded out by Chris J. And again, it's this fast mid to B split being looked for by mousesports. ROPZ thinking about going straight through this smoke. It's going to be all about the timing if he does. Freeman up close and personal with the MP9 can do some damage. Dinks coming through all over the shop, but Chris J still finding frags, and this is just a timing game. ROPZ is going to get Freeman, and although somebody in Attacker will absolutely go for this retake of the B-bomb site, it is looking nigh on impossible.
It certainly is, but last round of the half, they're going to be going in for this. Frozen will gobble up the freebie onto Attacker. And it's going to be more
pistol, although TYLOOYU currently flawless on pistol rounds. Somebody, first one round the corner, pop flash comes in for the peak, and oh, Frozen can't quite find it. Zeta fully blinded, will get the headshot, and TYLOOYU, they looked like they were going to up the pace off the back of that, but just slowing things down, waiting for the utility, waiting for the execute to be lined up. 4 players queued up towards short at the moment in the 5-on-4, but nobody looking to strike just yet with a minute left on the clock.
There's a lot of flirtation, but not much that came of it. Just Frozen losing his life, and now Woxic going to take some speculative shots through middle before he backs away. Another big storyline is he didn't really have any impact in that first half, but they always have that ace up the sleeve. If he turns on and wakes up with the AWP, things could get sketchy for TYLOOYU. They're going to look to try and take the side. Carrigan holding the line, holding this on his back, and now Chris J is joining the fray with his USP at range, is tapping, clicking some heads off. Woxic now, next up to the plate. And it's only Freeman that stands between them and their first pistol round of this best of 3. 23 seconds to play with. Freeman trying to use the USP against them, but it's ROPZ that connects the dots. And it's going to be 8-10. Chris J will do the rest. Deagle's not the perfect weapon here, but he's going to make it work anyway. Sticks the landing on Summer and Attacker, and that's the round that should be subsiding and slipping away as a result. ROPZ just going to spray down.
Towards short, they're going to try and catch Freeman off guard, and they will achieve it. Frozen finds a second as well. That's 2 Kriegs lost near enough immediately as the round falls apart as soon as it began for TYLOOYU. Summer, the next one to try and recover things from mid, but Chris J's going to find him straight through the smoke. 5-on-2 for somebody in Zeta. They've got a minute and 25 left on the clock, and arguably they need to try and save already.
Yeah, it's a pretty depressing situation they find themselves in, but mousesports know exactly what is coming up, and they've already sent the flank. They've already sent ROPZ. They've unleashed him. They've told him, go kill. Take these weapons away from TYLOOYU, but he's having a whiff. He finally salvages it all. We'll just pretend the first 5 bullets never happened, ROPZ. Don't worry, no one saw that. And now Zeta, with his AWP, is unsure as to what his options really are. He's got a minute left at the very least. He can try and strangle a couple of players on his way out, I suppose, at range. Tries to flick across to Woxic, but he's going to double tap him with the scout in the end. Second consecutive rounds without any... You can nip around there, get on that scooter, pop some heads maybe. Although ROPZ is just doing all the damage right now with the AK, so he's probably not going to be called upon. Carrigan also chipping in with a frag, and it's more of the same. Our Mousesport's going to pull off 3 consecutive flawless rounds is the only thing left to answer, and they've answered it emphatically. That is a yes.
It just looks all too easy, doesn't it? Though, as they go for the drop down in towards CT. Frozen going to be held off by the smoke as the A hit starts to come in. Woxic still on that scout, only able to find a tag as the push comes through. Chris J still not cleared in Goose. Oh man, he whiffs the spray though, and he can't get anything at all. That was awful. He had to find those frags. Those were 2 absolute freebies, and Rops and Frozen, perhaps in shock that he went down that way, are going to be bailing out of the A bomb site and trying to keep a hold on these 2 rifles. A Krieg, of course, absolutely crucial on the CT side at this point, but oh man, that miss from Chris J.
I can just imagine the spam in Twitch chat right now with J's all over Twitch chat. That was unreal. You could see what he was going for. He wanted to deny the bomb plant first and try and spin in for the second frag. But you need to finish your meal before you can have your dessert. He tried to go straight for the pudding. That's not how it works. Don't get greedy, Chris.
You do wonder if it's when he puts that bomb down and the head just goes, and from behind, sometimes you can't quite see. TYLOOYU with all the nades in the world to try and make this one work. Woxic with the Molotov will slow them down, however, and you can see TYLOOYU just stalling, dropping down into CT, putting even more pressure on Woxic. In the meanwhile, the support trying to come in as Woxic finds the first, still stuck on the angle towards the A-ramp. Attacker still in the elevator, able to find one more, but Woxic, he lives. He finds himself a second, still scoped in, finally taken out. Summer gets the frag, and Frozen with it all to do from A-long. The rotation from Rops is so slow. He's desperate to try and take out Freeman, but with that bomb planted for short, he's got to wait for the support. Somebody takes a couple of tags, and 2-on-2, that bomb starts to tick down.
Freeman in the nuts position. All he has to do is wait. Hope that somebody can stay alive long enough to install them long enough to pounce off. Rops is caught in 2 minds. He's anticipating this catwalk peak. They're going to tickle the bomb. Freeman comes out. He's going to prioritize the diffuser first. And to make matters worse, Rops is dropped down. And that's the round that goes with him. Into the abyss. Freeman chases, gives charge. They want to take all these guns
relatively
away.
Unopposed here. TYLOOYU getting plenty of information as Frozen now starts to make the rotation. Zeta, though, on the angle, eats the dink and finds the frag for his troubles. This hold is looking troubled indeed. Rops thinking about the peek out of the window, but with the AWP absolutely trained on his position and even the shoulder peek spotting him out, he's got to find the frag, and he'll do so. Somebody on low HP, so Rops gets a second, looking for more. He's going out of the window to find these frags. Rops with a third, and Summer sneaking onto this bomb site has got to do it all alone. Nothing doing. The B bomb site is closed for Mousesports. An attacker finds the first. 1v2 still in his hands with 45 seconds left on the clock. I might have gone a little too early there as he starts to take the control in towards the tunnels. Bomb dropped on the site. Can he make his way in?
That's the key point, though. It's the bomb drop that is an absolute nightmare. A fortress, a bastion of hope for Mousesports is the B site. Attacker has the utility to feasibly go for this. Maybe he can smoke off and try and take 2 separate 1v1s, especially considering that Rops is actually just sat on 13 HP. But time itself is becoming an enemy. Time itself is a nuisance. He tries to try peek it, and Rops on fine form.
They've only got 1 hit on their mind, and it is this B bomb site. Flash fully blinds Rops. He's got to retreat behind the triple box. He's waiting for his timing, but he's going to be taken down. Frozen at least able to trade 1-for-1 as the cross comes through from TYLOOYU, but this B bomb site's so difficult to retake, and it's going to have to be a 4-on-4 as the bomb gets planted. Lovely nade onto Summer, but can Mousesports get back into this? Somebody is still up towards short, looking to catch Woxic off guard, and actually a missed shot from the AWPer may mean the end of it all. There's a second player looking to hunt him down now in the form of Chris J, and have Mousesports given up on the chase here? Somebody finally going to be taken down, but they don't look like they're too convinced about this. Going to throw some utility in and start to believe perhaps they can get back into this B bomb site. Frozen desperately waiting for the rotations as attacker starts to burn down to 25 HP. The trades come through for Mousesports, and somehow they get back in. 3 players, 3 frags, and Mousesports have round number 13. They left that
and they are running out of time. They are running out of rounds.
The opportunities are starting to run out, and as Woxic finds the opening pick onto somebody, this becomes a very one-dimensional attack. 3 players looking to make their way up towards short, and with Frozen there, he just shoulder peeks that angle. Attacker tries to go straight through the Molotov, but that's an easy enough frag to find, and as the nades follow suit, the damage is done for TYLOOYU in this round. 5-on-3 with just 2 deagles and a scout remaining, and what little utility they have starting to burn dry. The CT side hold at the moment looking strong as a missed run boost comes out. You can see what they were trying to go for there, and they're going to give it another crack. Second time a charm perhaps, and indeed Zeta is going to make his way past, but it's just going to feed Carrigan. That's all too simple. Summer Getting the reload in on the Deagle as Carrigan goes straight through with a pistol.
Bracket. Mousesports anticipated to win this, and they're very close to doing so, but that's a freebie. The flashbang's not going to do enough to deter Zeta, and he's going to pick up the kill. Frozen's going to try and return the favor with some aggression, but he's walking into Freeman. Freeman's had a bit of a stinker of a best of 3, but he is going to still put the bullet between the eyes of Frozen, and now ROPZ may move out into a trap as well, but the aim was too high from Attacker. His crosshair not quite placed perfectly.
That's going to give Mousesports a lifeline here. It looked like the aggressions were just going to be pushed back everywhere from TYLOOYU, but at least one works out, and that gives them some time. The flank's starting to come in from Chris J. Woxic knows he's got to buy as much time as possible. The Molotovs, the nades, everything being thrown to allow this flank from Chris J to come through. Zeta executed out towards the pit. And now a 3-on-3, and look at this from TYLOOYU. They don't know where to look. ROPZ gets a second through the edge of the smoke onto Summer. Woxic not quite able to hit the shot and gives TYLOOYU their lifeline back in a 2-on-2 as the Molotov goes deep, and that might just burn Freeman alive. Chris J takes advantage. Somebody has got to play the range game here. The bomb planted for him, and perhaps he can find a frag as Chris J just toys with his own Molotov. Smoke goes in. Molly to try and push him off it, but that's not going to work at all. ROPZ will find the final frag, and Mousesports, they have Matt down this A bomb site.
As you say, the final curtain starting to come down. Will TYLOOYU jump out? Do they have that second wind? Is the adrenaline going to spike, or are they going to be laid to rest by Frozen? The Undertaker himself rises up and smites down TYLOOYU, and now somebody has got to somehow get them out of this predicament. It's a good tap onto Chris J. His position now compromised. 23 seconds to go. Bomb down in an awkward position. And to boot, there's a flank coming in from Carrigan. If somebody doesn't get a move onto the site, this should be all over. He's trying the off angles. He's trying every trick up his sleeve. Oh, Vox